So I was just watching the new live-action Beauty and the Beast teaser trailer starring Emma Watson, another remake of a 1990s Disney animation film, and I noticed that the trailer ends with two instantly recognizable symbols, a red rose and an appeal to Be Our Guest from the first film's famous song. And it occurred to me that symbols like this have come to represent a new kind of emotional currency in Hollywood, the currency of intertextuality.
The garbage will do!
Intertextuality is something in a text, in this case a movie, that is shaped by another text. That could be a film or a book or a play or a song. Intertextuality is something that you can't escape. It's as old as storytelling is. It's how language works. All language reaches back and is informed by how it was used in the past. But today, there seems to be a new kind of intertextuality born out of the endless series of sequels, remakes, and reboots, adaptations, and shared universes. And it's perfectly captured in that Force Awakens clip when the Millennium Falcon is revealed, or later when Han Solo and Chewbacca board their ship, or later still when BB-8 pulls the cover off an old friend. What do we feel in these moments? It's a bit hard to pinpoint, but personally, I feel a kind of frisson, a chill. Everything I know about the intertextual object in question unloads onto my mind like the vision Rey gets when she first touches Luke's lightsaber.
This is the weapon of a Jedi Knight. Not as clumsy or random as a blaster.
Intertextual references can point to genre conventions, they can point to the text's influences or cultural and historical contexts, but in this new generation of films, more and more, the intertextual manifests itself as objects, people, or situations specifically meant to trigger an emotional response in the viewer. It's weaponized intertextuality.
Goodness! Han Solo!
What's a bit troubling about this trend is that increasingly I'm seeing films use this kind of intertextual reference as a dramatic substitute. I mean, why else include Sauron in the Hobbit trilogy, for example, when he appears nowhere in the book? It seems to me that Saruman, Galadriel, Sauron, that whole plotline was included purely for intertextual payoff, so you could cash out that feeling of, oh, this is what these people were doing. Decades-old series are ripe for this kind of thing, and if you want a couple examples of just how cheap these moments can be, just take a look at two big intertextual reveals.
My name is Khan.
The man you're talking to now, the man inside your head, is Ernst Stafford Blofeld.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Scenes like this are a kind of unicorn's blood. They'll keep your story alive, but only with half a soul. One of my favorite TV shows when I was a teenager was Smallville. By its very nature, that show was built around intertextual cues. What made the show great in the early seasons was how it took those cues and deconstructed them in unexpected ways, namely in the friendship of Clark Kent and Lex Luthor. Its strength was that fan service payoffs played second fiddle to deeply drawn relationships. But in the later seasons, the show began to lean a little too heavily on intertextual objects and moments from the Superman canon. Really, DC Comics has always had this problem because its heroes are mythological. Batman and Superman are the quintessential intertextual characters. Just seeing them at all is exciting. But the recent Batman v Superman movie directed by Zack Snyder proved that the frisson of having these characters on screen together, of having them fight each other, was just no substitute for strong, intelligent drama. Snyder had a similar issue with his film Watchmen. Almost every shot in that film is a compositional match to the comic it's trying to adapt. Now, for those who read and loved that comic, there certainly is a thrill in seeing those frames and experiencing those intertextual moments come beautifully to life. But when that's all there is, the final feeling is an empty one.
Oh my god. I'm on Mars.
I think when cinematic storytelling is confined by an economic situation like this one where $300 million bets have to be safe ones, weaponized intertextuality is going to be an inevitable byproduct. I mean, this year alone we have coming up Finding Dory, Independence Day Resurgence, Ghostbusters, the Angry Birds movie, a Jason Bourne sequel, Rogue One, Star Trek Beyond, and Warcraft. expect to be flooded with weaponized intertextuality at every turn. As I said before, I don't think franchises and shared universes are bad by default. Quite the opposite. At their best, they build interpretive communities and foster social bonds in an increasingly alienated world. The kind of intertextuality that we're talking about can reflect these good qualities, and when it's done right, when it's not a substitute for strong characters and a good story, it can be funny.
Excuse me, I'm Eric Lensher.
Sounds Xavier.
Go fuck yourself.
It can be amusingly subversive, and of course, it can add to the drama, while still being exciting as hell. Hey everybody, welcome to the Nerdwriter End Screen. Thank you so much for watching that. That was so much fun to make, and I love thinking about stuff like this. And if you want to help me make more videos, you can click right below here and pledge $1 or $3 per video on my Patreon page. The small pledges help so much, and I'll see you guys next Wednesday. Oh, and thank you so much for watching my video on taxes. I didn't think that would get a lot of views, but people really seem to like it, so cool.